Have you met them in real life? You must have.
No, I've never met them.
Oh, how did you contact them? Just emailed them?
Yeah, I just found them.
Have you ever seen them perform, like, live?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's how I saw them.
And then you were like, I want to talk to these people, and you looked them up?
Do you have a card?
A Metro card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Wait, but if we leave here...
We're just gonna... They might be upstairs. What?
Are we able to go back in there without paying again?
No, we have to pay again.
Oh. Well, I guess I have to pay to get back on the train anyway.
Are you worried about the money?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
Was there like a 2-hour thing about your Metro card? Like within 2 hours it doesn't recharge you? Did I make that up?
You're so cheap.
No, I'm not cheap. I'm poor.
You're not poor either.
I am poor. You don't know. Poor. Thank you for saying I'm cheap and not saying I'm Jewish.
Why would I say that?
Because people say that to me like every day.
I'm gonna say hi to him.
I'm gonna come with you? Question mark.
What?
I'm gonna come with you? Question
Yeah,
mark?
come with
Oh,
me.
okay.
Hey man, I'm Andy.
Hi, Andy.
How are you?
Chango, good man.
What's up?
How are
This
you?
is
Good?
Hi.
Ali.
Hi, Ali.
Nice to
I don't
meet
want to
you.
get in your way.
You're fine.
So hey, what's up, man? Andy.
Yeah,
What's your name?
Tony.
Okay, just do your thing. I'll just creep around for a little bit. Is that cool?
Whatever you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of system maintenance, train arrival signs have been
Yeah. So if you kind of lurk over there, because this is gonna be loud.
Okay.
This is the spot. We like the L train.
Yeah, this is where I saw
This is
you.
the fucking spot, man.
Yeah. You have trouble with cops sometimes?
Sometimes we're really loud, so sometimes
Language?
sometimes we need a permit to use amplification in the subway.
So do you have one?
No, we don't have a permit. Buskers don't like us because we're really loud.
Yeah.
Usually, like, they play an acoustic instrument or they have the little...
You take up a lot of sonic
It's
space.
insane. You can listen to us
Yeah.
upstairs.
Yeah.
You know, so...
But that's what's sort of like punk about you.
yeah, it's cool, you know? Nah, that's about it.
How long have you guys been doing this?
4 years?
So I saw you. I was with this girl. I don't know. I just had a moment with you guys one time. You don't know it. I bet a lot of people have had that with you, actually. But I was so into it.
What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you when you've
We always
been down
attract weird people.
I mean, I imagine because
Yesterday there was a guy with a... How do you call that shit? The fly sapper? Is that how you call it? The little instrument with a handle that you fucking...
Oh, that like fly swatter.
It's a yeah, he was dancing. One was like crazy. We attract a lot, especially at night, a lot of homeless people and like crazy people. So sometimes we have only characters dancing or whatever. Like they scare the people away, you know, and we only have like a freak show going on.
You know, it's so rare to see electronic music in this setting, and I think it's great. You know, it's usually acoustic stuff, so I think
Ladies and gentlemen, because of system maintenance, train arrival signs have been suspended.
That's my friend AliRachelPearl with me in the subway, Union Square station. I bet you've heard those guys, right? They're pretty amazing. Check them out. Chango. They're on Spotify. Look up Changoliveset on Spotify. Their newest album's on there. I really love those guys so much. And I know that a lot of people have seen them as well. I just wanted to put them out there. The rest of this episode is me talking to Ali. She's going to kill me for calling her cheap at the beginning. I'm sorry, Ali. I love you. Ali is the author of OnTinderOffSex. It was a recent column in the New York Times, the modern love section. She's been a friend of mine for quite a while, and we have kind of a weird on-again, off-again. We've had a sometimes romantic relationship, but not anyway. We talk all about it here, so listen up. She's great. Go ahead and pretend to be a third wheel here, because we pretty much forgot you guys were listening. You can't look at your phone.
I'm not. I'm trying to get you to take a picture with me. No, I don't use the selfie camera because it's dumb.
But what, you just did a selfie thing.
Yeah, but not with the selfie camera. Look how cute you are.
Oh my god. What happened to my forehead? I don't like pictures of myself.
That's a really good one. Come on. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah. This is the third photo that has ever existed of us.
I feel like we're just gonna walk.
We can just
10
walk.
10 feet.
Why did I think we were tied together for a second? I don't know.
I don't know, but
weird.
I have thought about.
Like,
I thought about doing a podcast where you hold hands, like you have to hold hands, because I feel like that changes the dynamic of the conversation.
maybe we can hold hands.
I don't.
My hands are gloved.
Yeah.
I'm a cold kind of person. Is it going to be annoying if I stop and take pictures occasionally?
You actually just do whatever your heart desires. Just don't look at your phone.
I always do. No,
I don't. I mean, look at it.
No, I don't ever look at my phone when I'm with people now. Well, okay, my friends will probably dispute that. I'm trying very hard to not ever look at my phone if I'm with friends, ever. The
I
problem
noticed
is
that the
they
other
look
day.
at their phones all the time, and then I'm like sitting there doing nothing, and they're looking at their phones, and I'm like, well, do I just look at my phone now? But I don't want to. My best friend, she started this Instagram called Friends with Phones, and she takes like a selfie with the corner of her face in it, and then her friend in the background on their phone, not realizing she's taking a picture.
Yeah.
And then throws a black and white filter on it and posts it, and she takes submissions. But I was like with her when she made that account, and I was just determined to get a photo of her on her phone, and I got 2 in one day and submitted them to Friends with Phones, and she won't post them. What a sneak. That's a good account, though. I went on a date with a boy recently and told him about this, and he was very excited about it, and then followed her Instagram account.
Is this some sort of famous boy?
Do I date famous boys?
Yes.
I do?
You're a fame whore.
I am?
Yes.
I don't think that's true.
Come on.
I'm trying to think if I've dated anyone famous. The fact that I even have to think about it means that I absolutely haven't. I don't even date anyone. You know this. How many people have I dated since we met?
Well, I don't know. How do we qualify dating?
Dating. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I've dated, like, so many people. In reality, I've dated maybe 2 people. 3? 2? 1? I don't know. Look at this gorgeous dog. I'm more into dating dogs. Oh, he's gorgeous.
Have you ever seen a dog that's kind of sexy?
Yes, my neighbor has a dog named Omar. It's actually my dog's boyfriend. She found him in Boyle Heights under a freeway overpass. And that dog turns me on. Like, that dog is hot as fuck. I see that dog and I'm like, ugh. Like, when I see, like, a really smoking hot dude with, like, a really nice body, which isn't necessarily what I'm always into, but sometimes if it's, like, the right, and I get that, like, animalistic thing, that's what happens when I see this dog, Omar. He's just fucking gorgeous. He's, like, all white and then has this, like, gray patch on his eye. He's just sleek. He gets kind of pink when he plays too hard. His skin gets, like, pink.
Yeah.
He's very attractive. Very friendly. Huge mouth.
Big mouth.
Big pit bull mouth.
Yeah, it's
super
often
muscly.
It's often pit bulls.
Yeah, they're very muscly. We think he's a boxer mix because he always is trying to hit people with his paws. Hit my dog in the face. My dog, his girlfriend. Isn't it nice when you're not the only weird ones in sight?
A person with a tail.
Just a person with cat ears and a tail next to
And
a person with an instrument shaped like golf clubs.
Yeah.
Or something. What could that be?
Saxophone.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Yeah, that's a saxophone.
Fail. Wow, if you look at it from this angle, it looks like infinite forest. It looks like we're not in one of the biggest cities in the country.
I know, you can kind of be here and be okay.
Yeah. It's nice. I've never been here in the winter to this park. Here's another gorgeous dog.
So, exhibitionists. Do you think that I am an exhibitionist? Emotional? I'm always have...
Yes. You can finish.
No, I want to hear what you say. Because... yeah. I kind of need to bounce some things off other people to know what I think about them and feel.
Yes.
And yet I have a certain amount of shame about it because I grew up in this, like, in my family, you don't really, I don't know, we didn't really go into our feelings. It wasn't like we were terribly closed off, but we didn't really sit at the table and talk about our feelings. Did you guys? Is that even?
No.
That's not even a thing, right?
No, I think.
You know, you don't have to talk into that.
No, I know. You're just looking down at the ground to see how many giant ledges are going to trip me. Also, I'm looking at the light and seeing if I want to take a picture. So that's what I'm going to do. No, I don't think families do that mostly. Some families, like Parenthood, that show Parenthood, maybe.
These are men playing football.
Are they? I actually love football now because of Friday Night Lights.
Actually, I think that might be rugby.
That's
because they're throwing it more than... Oh, there's the lady. One lady.
I think it's football.
No, because he threw it twice. You can't throw it twice in football.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It is weird what I'm doing with my headphones.
I don't think it's weird. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I live in Los Angeles. Like, weirder things have happened on a daily basis in my life.
Do you think LA is weirder than New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is really no Venice Beach in New York. Right?
Nah. I mean, the closest I would say is like Coney Island, but that's not
Yeah.
really the same aesthetic or kind of person.
The cold tempers the weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
so the weird has to withstand the crushing winter. So whatever weird you have is it's a very formidable kind of neurosis.
Or you can compartmentalize it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to put it away in the winter because it can't. It's like pipes. Like, you got to unscrew the thing before the first freeze or you're fucked. So I'm gonna be annoying and keep taking pictures because these leaves in the sunlight are just like, incredible. Oh, this tree, look at this tree. How wonderful is this tree? So good. Sorry, I'm one of those people.
No, it's a good tree.
There are children in it. It's a children tree.
So what do you feel this has done to your life, the article? Do you feel like Ali is post-article and pre-article Ali? Or is it...
I do. I feel like a douche saying that, but it's like...
I feel like a douche asking it.
No.
Because I've known you for 5 years, but I am really curious about what you're going through or what it's like to all of a sudden have a lot of people. I mean, you had some in the New York Times, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, your world is a little different. It's a break. You got your break, really.
Kind of. It's weird because I wasn't, like, looking for it.
Yeah.
It was more the kind of break where, like, I don't know if this is, like, a real thing or not, but, you know, like, a hot
You really
girl...
are yelling.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
so funny. I can't even be more quiet. This is just my voice. I feel like maybe the mic should be lower.
Yeah, I probably should.
You want to do that?
Yeah. You're such a smart girl.
Sometimes. My fluffy thing.
It's like what if all condoms were like this?
It's just, like, had really fluffy tips on them.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because I have to, like...
Yeah.
I have to look down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just my gait. I've been thinking a lot about my gait recently because a friend of mine who passed away 3 years ago was like tall, bald, white dude, kind of like broad-shouldered. And every time I see someone who looks like him, I follow them and I pretend it's him. And like sometimes I pretend we're walking together and we're just in a moment of silence. It's creepy, but I don't really care. I don't ever talk to the person because that would ruin it. And I don't ever get to the side of them to see their profile. I just like stand close enough that they could be him. But what always ruins it is their gait. Like he had a very distinguished, like tall, like straight ahead, like didn't lower his head ever. Very confident kind of walk. And all these other tall, white, bald men don't.
Like stuck out his chest like this and like walked straight ahead.
Yeah, was just, head always up and like just looking directly in front of him. And I realized when following one of these tall bald men recently that I walk with my head looking at the ground because I am usually actually looking for like street art or anomalies in the sidewalk and things to photograph. So
Yeah, there's more to look at.
yeah.
I don't know if it's a self-confidence thing. There's just more happening on the ground than 4 feet in the air above
Yeah.
the ground. I mean, you're supposed to look forward to see what's happening, but this is more entertaining.
Well, and I live in a city, and a city that has earthquakes, and our sidewalks are jacked.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I've had friends roll their ankles and stuff, like, frequently. Wow, there's a waterfall?
No, that's not a waterfall.
Shut up, that's
No,
a waterfall.
it's not.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Someone's seen your picture.
Oh, I love this.
You're going to take a picture of this, I know it.
I am. So beautiful. I love that dress that she's wearing, or that gown, or whatever it is. We can keep walking, I don't want to be creepy. Okay, one more picture, I swear to God, and then I'm done.
It's okay.
My brother, like, won't hang out with me because of
The picture thing?
the picture thing.
I haven't seen you in months. I don't care.
A year.
Has it been a year?
It's been a year.
This is how I would feel if I were you. If I had written something, I got something in the Times, it was my first thing.
If you want, you can try to scooter it, or
I don't think you have this gene. This is one difference between us, is that I don't think you have the self-sabotage gene in you, where I would be like, okay, now I really gotta write something crappy to like test my boundaries. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, intellectually I know what you mean, but no, I don't know what that, like,
You don't know what
feel
that
like,
feels like,
no.
self-sabotage.
no.
Well, see, that's the thing. It seems like you feel like you're able to enjoy your accomplishments. Do you have goals?
No, actually, not at all. I mean, I'm working on it, but I'm trying not to, like, succumb to my own dramatic tendencies, which is hard for me. You know how dramatic I am. And I love it. And I feel like I felt for a long time like it's the thing that made me me, and that sort of walking away from that kind of language or that kind of indulging in my own feelings. So I'm a very emotive person, that I would be someone different, but I realized that that's just not true. And I actually just feel a lot more stable now than I have been before. But it took some fighting, sort of internally and externally. I had like a big fight with a really good friend of mine because he was making this point about me, and
A point about you? That never... when does that ever... That never goes well.
Well,
when you try to make a point about someone.
Yeah, I mean, I have a very, very, like, as you know, intimate friendships with people, and we talk about intense things sometimes, and sometimes if I'm struggling, I'll turn to them and be like, I don't understand, why am I struggling so much? And everyone is so smart. They give me insights that I wouldn't have otherwise, and sometimes those insights are a little bit painful. He did this thing where he's sort of, you're not allowed to do this, but he did this. Like, I've created a world that I live in, and that world is like, if something upsetting happens, I get upset, I get dramatic, whatever. But he sort of, it was very like tactless in a way. Just was like, no, I don't, this is bullshit. Like, you're bullshitting, like you're performing for yourself or for someone else, or I'm not sure. And I don't think you believe that you're performing, but I know that you're performing. And the thing is, like, that's been my secret fear my whole life, is that people are going to realize I've been performing. And that I've sort of formed my actual truth about myself around some performance that I am giving myself or something.
What is that?
It, like, he just cut right through it. And
no,
it
I know.
just
I
killed
have
me.
that same thing. We share that.
Yeah.
It's that
you
line
do.
from What About Bob where he says, if I fake it, he's like, why are you having a heart attack? And he says, if I fake it, I don't have it. And the reason that's the same is because,
Interesting.
like, it's like a control thing.
Maybe. I was just talking to a friend about this last night who I knew in high school, and we weren't close in high school, but...
Do you think this dog committed suicide? It looks like it's a dog.
Well, just because it's on a fence, and it looks like that
it's
fence where Quentin from The Sound and the Fury...
No, just it says
Jumped
it's
off
Lost
and
Pit in the middle of a bridge over water. It's a pretty obvious story.
No.
It's like putting Lost Pet next to a big tiger cage. Like,
To be fair, his name is Ducky, so
what the hell?
maybe there's some conflation of animals going on here. What is this building? This is so lovely.
Look at that Great
Look,
Dane.
I was just going to say, look at that Great Dane.
Is that a Great Dane or a what?
I don't know. It looks like a mix. It looks greyhoundy. It looks like a Great Dane Greyhound mix.
It looks like it shops at Coldwater Creek. It's like a mom store.
That's just because I know what Coldwater Creek is. I have a mom. It's just because
Talbot's? Is it a Talbot's dog store?
No, it's more Coldwater Creek, and you're just saying that because of the color of its jacket, which is sort of that like autumn rust.
Yeah.
Rusted pumpkin. That's probably not a color, but it is.
Autumn must
now.
be their big sales season.
Yeah,
I mean, it is for a lot of people,
they're
but I
very
think Coldwater
autumn aesthetic.
Creek. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like these colors. That's their jam, which is
fall colors.
Fall colors is their jam.
I should say for our listeners, what this is. These are very pretty fall colors.
I'm going this way. These leaves look like stars. Look how lovely they are. I don't know how to get them. Keep talking to me.
No, I'm thinking about it, whether they look like stars. I think they
You
look...
think I'm lying?
No. You can't say I'm... Whether or not... This is not a discussion about your honesty, because we're looking at the same thing.
God, this is such a gorgeous place to take photos. Oh, except that human running across the bridge just killed it. I hate having people in my photographs. I mean, unless they're people I love. I waited in Delicate Arch in Moab for 3 hours for people to clear out so I could get a shot of the arch with no people in it.
Did you do a yoga pose?
No.
Okay, but you just now, you said, do you think I'm lying
Yeah.
about the star thing?
Yeah.
What the... I mean...
I guess I didn't mean that.
That's like when you're arguing with someone and like we're debating a point. And like I'm like, Hillary Clinton's foreign policy is, I don't know. I don't even follow the news enough to make this fake argument. But my point is,
don't
fill
even
in the
bother
blank
using
about
enough to
my
understand
opinion,
it. Yeah.
and then you go, no, it's not. Trust me. It's like, no, you can't. It's not an opinion. It's not a trust in you.
Yeah, that's fair. I would never
I
sort
know.
of make that move in an actual argument, but
You
we're talking about
wouldn't. You
the
wouldn't.
shape
But
of
I used what happened just now to talk about something that bothers me, which comes off as passive aggression. I'm learning.
No, that's kind of what you do. Do you remember sitting? Do you remember sitting in? It's taken me a long time to sort of like figure out what that is about you. You use whatever tools are, or whatever, like maybe not tools. You use whatever anything that is available around you to sort through what you think about issues that you're interested in.
Well, yeah, isn't that just selfish conversation? Isn't that just like, well, what does this have to do with Andy?
I mean, maybe it's like some form of narcissism, but it's interesting because
I've gotten better.
yeah.
I was looking through my email last night, and I found, I think, one of the first emails we exchanged.
You and me.
And I don't even remember what it was about, but yeah. But it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah. I still remember the first text messages we ever exchanged, which was about me asking you if I could keep my food in your refrigerator when I moved from that extended stay hotel into my apartment.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you offered to let me keep my food in your refrigerator, and I thought, yeah, I'll bring the food over to his house, put it in the refrigerator, and then I'll like unpack all my stuff. For some reason, I didn't think I can just put all my stuff in a bag, bring it to my apartment, and then put it in the refrigerator. I don't know why I had this order in my head where like the food was like the first to leave the apartment and then the first to leave the extended stay hotel and then the last thing to go into my, like I couldn't put my food in the refrigerator unless all my furniture was set up or something. I don't know why I didn't figure that out in my head earlier, but I didn't end up taking.
Is it because you wanted my friendship?
But I didn't end up putting my food in your refrigerator.
You know what I think I remember thinking too? She's just using me for my refrigerator.
But you offered the refrigerator and I didn't even take you up on it.
That's how I operate. I'll offer something to somebody sometimes, and then I'll be like, they're just using me for that thing.
I mean, to be fair, the first thing I ever said to you was, can I have your cell phone case?
Right.
It's the same as mine and mine's broken.
Can I have it? You said, can I have it? Not can I borrow it? That's like a really Neanderthal kind of thing to say.
What can I say?
Can I have that thing that
I
you
was
have?
21 or 22. I mean, God.
That's an insane question.
I take no responsibility for my actions in my early 20s. Wow, I just felt like a huge weight lift off my shoulders. That dog's jacket is better than my jacket.
That's... I'm trying to... that's like a Chewbacca jacket.
Kind of. Yeah. It's so good.
I was trying to think of what store it is, and I saw the little ammunition belt.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people don't want to talk about with Chewbacca, is he was pro-gun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing people don't want to talk about, for sure.
I mean, they really... I guess we'll probably get Chewbacca's story in this next one, maybe, but I don't know.
I don't know either. I gave up on Star Wars a long time ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I find the movie Alien... I like science fiction.
Yeah, me too.
Have we had this conversation? About
probably.
how... Yeah, we've talked about everything. Isn't it if you're friends with somebody... You're really just having the same conversation, but it's getting revised. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's.
If you're both growing, and we both are.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely, you're just changing. You're revising it. It's a draft of some conversation that keeps getting revised.
I have records of the conversations you and I used to have, not just like text message conversations, but I mean like, we would hang out and I would go home and write about my day, and part of writing about my day would be writing about the conversations I had with people. So I'm sure I could look back and journal entries from like 5 years ago and see what we talked about. It's probably some of the same stuff.
I guess if I am going to put this stuff in here, I should say we met and I want to forget this part of my past. But we met. It's not that I'm not proud of it and everything, but I just maybe haven't reconciled it with what's happening now. But we were in a PhD program at the University of Utah.
You were in an
an
MFA program, and I was in an MA program.
Oh, right. But
and then you were in a PhD program.
Okay.
And then I left, and then you left. And now we live on opposite ends of the country.
And now you're still in a PhD program.
Yes. In Los Angeles.
At where?
At the University of Southern California.
Anyway, so that's where we met.
I feel like we're talking to an invisible audience sitting in front of us on this
Yeah. Hello, audience.
lawn.
They're all looking at their phones.
They are, I know.
Come on, guys, pay attention. Yeah, I haven't reconciled that part of my past. Like, I think it's because I don't like that I'm kind of eggheady and writery. I haven't figured out how to marry that with, like, a lot of stand-ups are really very anti-intellectual, but also in their own way, super intellectual, just not, acknowledging that kind of asshole-sounding discourse. But,
well, there's a difference between being intellectual and being ivory tower or...
Yeah, and that was
academic.
always frustrating to me, too, when I was in school, but... Comedy was like I think what was happening with me, it was like marrying my head back to my heart, in a way, is what was happening. It was like this intermediary or something. Because everything, I was so in my head, I had all these emotional problems, and I was talking about all these like issues, in class. I was able to get behind them, but really behind them were all these kind of, my own serious like emotional kind of concerns, but I was intellectualizing everything, which was a big problem for me, because you can't intellectualize certain like emotional like loss or why you're trying to destroy yourself, or like what is that self-hate, where does that come from, what are you running from, that kind of stuff is, maybe you can get close with an intellectual thing, but it's like a weird condom, the intellectual condom. Emotions are like having sex, and conversation is like the intellectual part is like talking about it. Yeah, that's what I do. That's all I do. I intellectualize sex and dating and love. But not during sex. No, not during sex, but that's why I don't really have sex, is because I don't get to that place, because there's a wall between me and that, and the wall is intellectualizing everything. You seem to want to like get right up. I'm like this too, but like you want to get as close as you can up to somebody without having sex. Yeah, but I also want to have sex. Yeah. Not with everyone, but with the people I want to have sex with. I want to have sex with them, and somehow I get that close, and then I realize they're on the other side of a canyon, and I didn't notice it, or there's like a pane of glass between us and I didn't notice it, or something. I'm not sure. This happens over and over and over and over. Well, maybe it's just like it takes you... It's just, 3 years of foreplay before you can sleep with someone. My first boyfriend, not my first, but like my first real love, it was six years of foreplay until anything. I don't believe it's me. I know that is absurd. Of course it's me. I'm the only common denominator in this pattern, but I don't believe that it's I don't think that it's that weird. I don't think you're that weird. I think that maybe for some of us, our hearts aren't cut out for it. Like, to just... I used to think I was... And I used to be okay with it because I was just iced over, but I don't think right now I could even do it. It's not even like that's an option to me, but I think it would really hurt more. I'm a lot more feely, needy. I don't really necessarily like that, but it's probably on the way to something better. That's good. That's so different from before. Yeah. I remember you used to tell me you're like Dexter. I know. And you meant emotionally, but I was like, is he trying to tell me he's a serial killer? I really related to Dexter a lot. Just not because of the murder part, but because of the not being able to connect with the emotions part.
Yeah, but that's so different now.
That show is about negotiating with your id, I think.
Yeah.
And I was drinking a lot when I was watching it too, so I think that was a very relevant theme to me. That guy's wearing little running shorts. What is with these people? They like tiptoe when they run. Look at this guy.
Yeah,
he looks
not sure.
He's like, oh, I don't want to wake up the baby.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's his
Look
shoes. Maybe
it's because I'm running in
socks.
socks.
Look like socks.
He's wearing socks.
Are they?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe that's like a new fad. Like the paleo diet. Maybe running in socks is the new fad.
It is. It's a thing. People run like barefoot. There's a term for it.
Here's the reason that I have a hard time falling in love. It's because I end up being... So when you were the kind of person who identified with Dexter, I saw that, but I could also see that you were someone else too. And now you're that someone else. Now you're the person that I could see that you were. And I sort of, that's what I cling to when I'm interested in someone. I see the person that they are somewhere else or that they could be. And then that's the person that I fall in love with. And then sometimes they become that person and sometimes they don't. And sometimes by the time they become that person, it's too late and I'm not interested anymore, or I don't feel that way anymore. Or maybe it's because I think I'm in love with the person they could be, but actually I'm in love with the person they are, the Dexter person, or whatever version it is for the people that I've been involved with. And then when they become the person I think they are, I'm not interested. I'm not sure.
The common thing in all those things you just said is distance. Like you always need them to be in a distant place. So you're always in a long-distance relationship. Yeah, I'm either in a long-distance relationship or in very, very intimate friendships that feel sexual but aren't, or that like where whatever sexual about them is just not acted upon. But our relationship isn't that, is it?
It used to be.
It did?
Yeah.
We were never going to have sex, though.
But I feel like you were convinced for a long time that we were. And there were times when I was convinced that we were.
No, okay.
I mean, I never knew if we were or were not going to have sex until the moment in which we were not having sex. Like, it never was like, no, I'm absolutely never going to sleep with this person. Sometimes, there was one time, is this going to be embarrassing?
Wait, yeah.
No, not for you. It's going to be embarrassing for me. There was one time you came to my house, and I had a bunch of people over. And you know that Papasan chair that I had? The big, cushy black one? And you were sitting in it, and I don't even know what we were doing. It was just a few of our friends. And you left, and then the chair smelled like you. I sat in it. I was cleaning up, and I was tired, and I sat down in the chair, and it smelled like you. And I was so comforted by that. Not in a sexual way. And I fell asleep in that chair. And it was nice.
Oh.
It was like...
Well, that's when I used to smell good. Now I smell like an old man. An old dying man.
Well, that's when I used to be able to smell, but now I have 2 animals, and I have a lot of allergies, so I can't smell anything anymore. So maybe it's good that you smell like an old dying man, and I can't even tell.
We're similar, though. I mean, it's the same for me, too. I have a lot of female friends where they're pretty intimate, but not sexual. Or the opposite is I'll have sexual relationships that aren't intimate.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I don't think that's true anymore because I've been really out of it for 2 years.
Yeah. Remember, there was a time, well, there were many times, but there was one particular time where we were driving around listening probably to Enya because we were in your car. And I love that you love Enya so much. Am I allowed to tell people that you love Enya so much? I mean, I feel like you tell people that you love Enya so much.
I talk about it.
And we were talking about how we both maybe go through these things with each other where we're like interested and then not interested anymore. But it never lined up. It never really, our interest in each other never really lined up. And it was so sort of like fluctuating. Where like, it would be like a few days where I would be like thinking about what maybe something would happen between us. And then I would stop thinking about it. And then there would be a few days where you would be thinking about it.
Yeah. It was like...
But I was never there when you were there, and you were never there when I was there. And I was always just waiting, as I am with everyone, for you to make a move. And there were times when I would have accepted that and times when I would not have accepted that. I'm trying to not be that person anymore, but I just ended up in a situation like that recently. So not succeeding. But I also walked away from that situation, so maybe that shows something.
Are you cold?
Not really.
Well, Enya, I don't think I love Enya's music as much as I have a relationship with Enya.
I like that you went away from the intimacy discussion.
No, we'll
and
come
into a
back.
discussion
We'll
of
come
Enya.
back. We'll come back.
Because that's how much you love Enya. Are we walking?
No,
what are we doing?
It's a very. I actually, when you were saying that, I was actually thinking, did I listen to it with you? Because that's a very intimate thing.
Enya? Yeah, we used to listen to Enya in your car.
Not for very long though, because I feel right.
What do you mean?
Because that's pretty heavy for me. I don't think I do that with many people.
I mean, pretty much any time I got in your car, you were listening to Enya, and that's what we would listen to. Or ambient techno music. Do you remember that
techno
phase? What was it? It was like...
It's just, I like EDM.
Yeah. But it was like bad EDM. I mean, I like EDM too.
What bad EDM? It was not.
It was, yeah, it was like sort of, I don't know. I like something with like a good beat that feels more like punk or something than it feels like EDM-y.
I know what you're saying. You like cool stuff.
I like cool stuff.
This is the difference between us.
I know, it is. When I love people, it's all about how they make me feel about myself, and it's oftentimes not about them.
Yeah. Oh.
And I've realized that recently, like very recently, like in the last couple months, and I don't think that's, I think that's my problem. It's like, I love what someone makes me feel about myself.
Yeah,
I
don't
don't
think that's
love
that normal. Or
them.
This
I mean, I
do
love
the
them
blind
too.
leading the blind, though.
No, I know. That's why. I mean, that's what we are not. I don't know. Maybe good at giving each other advice on this, but I feel like at least, unlike a lot of other people, I feel like we're trying to grow and change and be better at this than we were because we know all the ways in which we were not good at it, and so at least we're like, even if we both have no idea what we're doing, at least we're like trying to claw our way out of this hole. You know?
Well, I think there's
and I'm like, let me stand on your shoulders. And you're like, let me stand on your shoulders. And I'm like, I can't bear any weight. So.
What? Was that a metaphor? What happened?
It was a metaphor, and then it got really literal. Like that I wouldn't be strong enough to have someone stand on my shoulders.
Well, but think about when people have sex, they like tell each other they're hot. That's a very vain thing. But it's like you're saying, you're attractive to me, so it feels good. It's just like this cycle of, you just make each other feel good about yourself. I mean, isn't that half the thing about when you're with people like friends or whatever, lovers or all that stuff? I don't like the word lovers, but...
I don't either, but...
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, they make you feel... You like the way you feel when you're around them.
Yeah.
That's a very selfish... Not selfish, but I mean, what else is there besides that? How else would you gauge anything without your own... You gotta use your own radar.
That's true. There was a boy, his name was Jeremy. I was in 7th or 8th grade, and he was in my art class, and he was just kind of an outcast, and I was an outcast, and he was a skater, punk kid, and I was... My brother will laugh if I call myself a skater, but, like, I used to skateboard, and I was better than my brother at it, and he refuses to remember this. And I was like, this is the person I want to be friends with. He had, like, spiky, dyed hair and piercings, and we were only in 8th grade, and it was... I don't know. And then his brother killed himself when he was in 7th grade, like when Jeremy was in 7th or 8th grade. And that was like some sort of like profound loss. I connected to that person for that reason. And so I thought, this is the person I need to be with. And so things that he was interested in, that's how I got into punk music, was like him. And we used to listen to like Pennywise and Lagwagon and Anti-Flag and just Black Flag and all these bands that I'd never heard of that he introduced me to. And we used to listen to the 99 Red Balloons song, but the Goldfinger cover, was that their name? Goldfinger?
Yeah, I remember Goldfinger.
And it was my favorite song, and I became obsessed with Red Balloons, and Red Balloons like infiltrated my artwork for the next like 10 years. And I mean, I like really absorb people. When I love someone, I want to eat them. I want to like eat them entirely. I want to.
So you are Dexter.
I want to like. I don't know if I want to wear their skin or if I want.
You're Hannibal.
My skin to be around them. Like, I'm not sure. I want some sort of osmosis process to happen. Or I'm not sure. Something to be permeated.
It makes sense. We both learn about ourselves through other people, both of us. I mean, everybody's like that, but not everybody has to figure out who they are and show it to millions of people in the New York Times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I got
you
so
talk
many
about your sex life.
comments about being a narcissist.
You talk about your... You know, this is one thing I noticed about your essay. You are selective about the people you don't have sex with. Do you know what I mean? You curated people who it's cool to not have had sex with.
Yes, because
you almost didn't have sex with the lead singer of this punk band.
Yeah.
None of the people you haven't had sex with are not cool. This is my point.
No, I totally... There's, like, an aesthetic to the people I won't have sex with. It's like I, like, make a thing about it.
Yeah,
it's
like, what is that?
I mean, it's just a time-based thing. Like, those were the most recent people that I hadn't had sex with. No, it really was, because there are other people...
But that's who okay, so that's not fair of me, because that's who you're attracted to. You're attracted to people who are kind of good at things in certain ways. It's not like you're just picking people who have cachet or status.
Right.
Both those people have status.
Both the people that I mentioned in the essay that I didn't have sex with, I mean, they don't have any more or less status than I do or you do or any of my friends do.
Yeah, they do. Not than you. They have more status than me. I have zero status.
I think that's true. Status in what way?
Cultural status.
I mean...
Those people all had cool positions.
It's because I wrote them as having cool positions. I don't know if they would necessarily have described themselves in that way. I think if I had written you into there... which, had I written this essay a couple years ago, I probably would have written you into there. I'm not sure how I would have described you, but I
think it hurt my feelings that you didn't write me.
It did. You said something on Twitter about it. Do you remember?
That's probably,
You said, like, maybe I'm not... something about, like, realizing you're not interesting enough to be someone Ali hasn't had sex with.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're in that category for me.
It sounds like an accusation, and it kind of is.
No, that's fair. I mean, they're yeah, I mean, I feel like I really fall in love with very complex, difficult people because I like a challenge and because I like to read. And I like to read people and I like to read signals. And the more complicated or complex the signals, the more intrigued I am, the more I want to keep reading. Like, what is this about? I'm not into things for the plot. I'm into things for the character development. I'm not trying to hate on genre fiction here. I just
No, I get you.
am more interested in sort of someone's complexities than I am interested in like possibilities with them or something like that. And those people all just end up being people who do interesting things and who think the thing that all of you guys have in common is that none of you are like one-dimensional. And no, I don't really believe that anyone's one-dimensional, but there are people that seem more one-dimensional or who are more resistant to being seen as multi-dimensional. And the two people that I wrote about are they have myriad interests. They are smart in a variety of ways that are impressive and always intriguing to me. And I keep finding out skills that they have that I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know this was you. And I feel like you also fall into that category. It's just that these were people that I've dealt with very recently, like in the last 6 months, people that I've thought about being with. And
we kind of just stopped talking for a little while.
Yeah.
But that's part of the nature of friendship. You go through, any of my long-term friends, I've gone through that process.
I used to get scared, like when we wouldn't talk, I'd be like, oh, he must hate me or I must have done something, or with any of my friends, like they must be mad at me. And I realized, like, it's not always about you, Ali.
Well, but you also get sick of people.
You get sick of people.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's
even
not
after this, we'll be like, ugh, it's enough Ali for today.
Really?
No. No, you're going to, this is different. It's different now because you are going to go away.
Yeah,
go to
I
Los
mean,
Angeles.
yeah, distance makes it a thing. I mean, there are times when you and I used to talk on the phone all the time, and you would be my, like, go-to person if I had, like, a crisis, and I would call you. But then things shift. Like, I'm trying to learn how to have people in my life that serve different purposes and that are different things to me, and I'm trying to, like, reconcile the idea that, like, you don't have to marry the person that makes you feel better all the time. Like, you can be with the person you love the most, and then have all the rest of the people in your life and turn to them at different... Like, I just want to marry everybody, but what I'm realizing is, like, I can do that. Like, you don't have to, just because you're married to someone doesn't mean they have to be everything to you. They shouldn't be everything to you.
I think deep down I'm probably a traditionalist. Like, I think I do deep down believe I want to be with somebody and, like, lock that down. And I guess I'm maybe accepting, it's okay to be friends with other people, because not the one person, your one mate or whatever, can't give you everything. It's okay to have other relationships with people, and it's okay.
You have to. I mean, you have to. The thing I'm realizing in having, like, just started dating for the first time in my life is that, like, people are really different. Like, they're different from me. They're different from each other. I always hang around the same kinds of people. I always hang around academics and writers, and so going on dates with people who are not that, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, people have completely different approaches to understanding and being and functioning, and sometimes it's horrifying, and sometimes it's, like, very comforting. It's like, there are other ways to walk through the world.
Tell me about horror.
Well, sometimes it's just, like, people are not interested in reflecting on how they walk through the world.
My brother-in-law said to me one time, we were having this discussion, and I said that unexamined life is not worth living. And he said, yeah, but the over-examined life is not worth living either.
Yeah, I think...
There's truth to that.
I think that's true, but it's like, I don't know how to force your... I mean, I'm trying, but I don't know how to force yourself to not over-examine everything. Like...
It's like anything, you know, I think it just becomes toxic when there's too much of it.
That's what I do. I ruin every possible romantic relationship. I make it, all of them, toxic in this way, where I either talk to myself about it, I talk to the person about it, or I talk to friends about the relationship so much that the relationship becomes impossible to have. Because it's not based in feeling or whatever. I think when I imagine normal people, like, acting on desires, like, it's not based in that anymore. It's based in some sort of, like, place in my head, and then I just make up all these stories about what I think is going on, and then I build the wall between me and another person, not on purpose. I don't want to, like, I'm trying not to do that, but I end up doing that every time.
That was the first part of my conversation with Ali. I got like another 2.5 hours of talking that we did back in my apartment, but I'm going to save that for another time. And I really hope that you enjoyed listening to us talk as much as we like listening to ourselves, I think. And thanks for tuning in, downloading this episode. I had help this week, of course, from Chango, my friend Aaron Campbell. He is the banjo music usually here in the show. Vince Fairchild at WNYC has provided ongoing production support for What's Your Yarn Worth. Thanks for a good 2015. We got a big 2016 coming up next year. I'm really stoked. A lot of people are listening to this show, and it keeps growing every episode. Tell your friends. Review the show on iTunes. That'd be super helpful. Nobody wants to do that, but come on. Hundreds of you are listening to this thing. One of you could just go on iTunes and say something nice, right? That wouldn't kill you. All right, well, I'm with my parents in Florida. To be honest, I'm in the back of a car, so if I sound a little tired, I hope you guys had a good year, and I'll see you next year. I got another episode coming out in a couple weeks here. So see you around if you don't turn square, as my grandpa used to say. I love you guys. Okay, bye.